Okay, hello. This is week 6 of winter anime. Anime season does continue. We're like halfway through the season, which is nice. A lot of crazy pop-offs and story expositions to be had. Also, before we go any further, Bocchi the Rock season 2 confirmed, the most highly anticipated show for any introverted antisocial weeb. Anyone that finds it relatable is so sick. So excited. It's not going to be the same director, which I think everyone knew because he's working on Free Run Season 2. It might not have the same exact one-to-one animation quality, but more Bocchi the Rock. Please insert that in my veins. We probably have to wait over a year for it to actually like release, but you know, that's fine. Also, after that ReZero this week, insane episode. Like, they cooked on this episode, so much stuff happened. The action flowed very cleanly. Like, everyone had a plan. They were very smart. So I'm going to talk about that and some other shows that I've been keeping up with this week. So yeah, let's get started. So yeah, for ReZero Season 3, we have episode 10. One of the best episodes of Season 3. I think the best episode of ReZero we had in a while, because it was like the culmination of Subaru's plan. We see a lot of people fighting on multiple fronts, and then we see people kind of strategically taking care of each villain. And also the animation was cool. The set pieces, the kind of attack effects, they're also beautiful. So yeah, very good episode. Also, apparently this episode in specific took a year and a half to produce, which is kind of insane to think about, the amount of like time and effort to like make this beautiful episode. It's only 20 minutes long, but the amount of stuff they packed in here was like unbelievable. So we'll kind of go in order of things that happened this episode. So basically it starts off with the Archbishop of Lust. He's basically Mahito. Her power, she can transform people into like different animals, and she has like infinite healing pretty much. So she kind of invades the home base of the heroes, and this is part of their plan because they knew someone was going to target the area where Subaru gave the speech. So here she kind of barges into the green-haired girl's room who has the dragon blood crush. But yeah, she's been suffering a lot, and then Fellas is right next to her. So yeah, Fellas, he was a bit annoying because he's just crying. I'm like, bro, you need to lock in. But yeah, they proved me wrong because this was all part of their plan to kind of lure Lust into this room to attack them, and then they have a trapdoor under her. And then Krush was actually Anastasia disguised on the bed. So they kind of used this opportunity to get intel on Lust. Maybe find a way to cure Krush. She doesn't really tell them anything. So they throw her down into a trap hole. Anastasia kind of like blasts her with magic. And then she's kind of stuck in the basement where Al kind of shows up. So is Al gonna just like continuously slash her up and fight her? That would be kind of like an insane set of circumstances. You know, this girl that has like infinite healing. So I guess it's gonna be a long, brutal fight between them. And after that, we change scenes with Subaru, Emilia, and Reinhardt teaming up against Regulus, the White Diddy. So he's a bit annoying because he's super strong, and also he's invincible. So no matter how much Reinhardt kind of throws him around, tosses him like a Looney Tunes character, he still doesn't really take any damage. He still gets like bothered, inconvenienced, kind of like trapped in things, but he can like break out really quickly. So Amelia tries to encase him into like this huge like prison of ice, but then Regulus kind of summons like this giant pillar of water. It was kind of insane, and starts like raining like sharp objects onto Amelia. I was thinking like water shouldn't really bother her too much because she can just freeze it with ice. He's like the hard counter to water, but yeah, they kind of just like run away, avoid Regulus's attacks. There's a lot of like cool stuff in this episode. There's kind of like the giant fountain canal that Amelia freezes, and then they're kind of like ice skating through the fountains. So yeah, that was an insane scene, very fun. We see them try to do like different attack plans onto Regulus, trying to see if he has any weaknesses. We see Amelia trying to smash his head and balls with the ice hammer, and then Subaru kind of realizes, wait, maybe Regulus isn't like alive or something. Maybe he's like frozen in time. So he asks Reinhardt to check if Regulus's heart is beating. Reinhardt gets in close and checks and confirms that it is not beating. So they kind of realize that time has stopped for his body, so they just have to resume time for him, and then all the damage he'll take will be real. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know like what the trigger is to like start him up. Also, unfortunately, Reinhardt kind of gets launched up into the moon, so he's going to be out of commission for like a couple minutes, I'm assuming, if he doesn't kind of fly back down. But yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. So yeah, Subaru and Amelia versus Regulus. They kind of figure out part of his weakness, so now they have to execute how to resume time for his body. And besides that, yeah, what an insane fight. Also, yeah, the fighting isn't over still. Priscilla and Liliana versus Sirius. It's hard to fight or beat her because if you damage her, then everyone around her will also take damage. So her curse is very powerful, so she's relying on Liliana to kind of cure them. I'm like, bro, Liliana, you gotta lock in. A lot of characters are not locking in. They're like comedy relief. They're scared. They're not fighting. Like, come on, this is your time. You need to save the people. So yeah, Liliana like kind of runs last minute, tries to like play her song. But then we see Priscilla, she kind of gets mad because it looks like Sirius knows something about her. She says stuff like Iris and the Thorn King. Maybe that's related to Priscilla's past. We don't really know too much about her, so maybe we'll get some reveals as season 3 continues. But yeah, it looks like Priscilla's on the losing end for now. Sirius kind of hits her with her hook and chain. And yeah, the fight continues. Oh, also, I forgot a little detail about this fight. So yeah, Liliana was under Sirius's curse in the beginning. So Priscilla just like makes out with her whole ass tongue kiss. What is happening? What is the scene? But yeah, that was also like something crazy, something spicy that happened this episode as well. But you know, anime does continue. Very exciting episode. So many pop-offs. Like watching this was so crazy because so much stuff was happening. Extremely high quality. Okay, so for Orb on the Movements of Earth, episode 21, insanely good episode again. Last episode was very sad, one of the best episodes of Orb. But then yeah, the storytelling continues. Each episode's insane. So yeah, they all kind of work together to like kind of build suspense, have you cheer for the characters, and then you know stuff goes wrong as always. So yeah, even though like things are good, we have the printing press, even though Yolanta kind of sacrificed herself, we're still kind of like close to publishing the book, which is the end goal. So yeah, their legacy is here. We're almost there. But yeah, more characters are being evil. So yeah, there's a traitor among the group, which was pretty obvious. It was one of the main three characters. So yeah, he was working with the heretics, but he secretly hates them. And then it was pretty obvious that he was a traitor because like throughout the past few episodes, he was saying things like, oh, we're going here. This is our destination. Oh, we're gonna do this at this time. So he kept like emphasizing things and then looking all shifty. So yeah, of course something's gonna go wrong. Basically, they kind of meet up at the heretic base. Everyone kind of works together to build the printing press and publish the book. We see there's some problems where like the kind of letter keys, some of them got damaged, so they need lead to rebuild them. It takes time to like get the lead from town. So then Draka does a good character moment. It's like moving on with her past self, where she takes like the coins she collected from her dead father, and then she's like, oh, you can melt these for lead. So they instantly make the printing press, and then they start writing the book. Draka wants to honor Yolanta's memories, so she's like, can we have her name like listed on the front cover as like the author or the publisher? So yeah, that's like a cool kind of lasting memory of her. Also, if Noak gets his hands on this book, like it would be kind of crazy to see his reaction. So stuff is going well. They mass produce a lot of copies with all their papers they have, and the next day they're kind of prepared to sail off and then ship it and publish it. So yeah, that is nice. But yeah, the traitor comes in. So this guy, he was working with the heretics, but we get his backstory. So we got it briefly a few episodes ago. I totally like did not know this would be relevant here, but it is. So yeah, apparently like his dad got murdered by heretics. His parents were kind of like trying to leave the village. So yeah, that was very interesting. So basically they're kind of isolated in their base. So he kills all the horses, and then he went to town the previous day to kind of like warn the people. So yeah, like they're gonna get hunted down by the church very quickly. They have no horses, they have no way to escape. So their best chance is to like have everyone run in random directions, since they're in a giant open field, and maybe a few of them will make it out alive. Their second chance is to maybe steal a horse from the church and escort Draka out, have Draka escape only. A lot of people are not down with this plan because Draka is a new member of the team. They sacrificed their lives for her for like a slim chance of publishing the book. So yeah, everyone's divided, but then the leader, he kind of like appreciates Draka's resolve. So yeah, Draka kind of finally breaks the deadlock by saying, I'll flip a coin. Heads, everyone runs in random directions. Tails, everyone protects Draka. So she kind of like entrusts her life to fate. Leave it all to God, flips it, it's heads. So her plan did not work out. But then the leader, he's like, flips the coin back on tails. This was a pretty symbolic moment as well, because it showed that he was like faithful to God. He left everything to God, but then now he made his own decision. He's using his human power and knowledge to kind of change the outcome. So it's a cool character moment for everybody. We see Draka growing, giving up her coins and her hood that she got from her dad. And then the leader with the mustache also kind of like going against God. So yeah, pretty cool. I mean, I'm assuming Draka's gonna make it out alive, but a lot of people will die here. And then we'll see what's gonna happen as Draka tries to make it out with the book. Okay, so for the Apothecary Diaries Season 2, Episode 6, Maomao solving another case. It's the one about abortions. So yeah, ever since the caravan came in, Maomao was suspicious because all these ingredients were like kind of used to abort babies. And then Gyokyo, the master that she's serving, she is pregnant, her second baby. So yeah, Maomao thinks someone's gonna target her. So first of all, it kind of relates to her kind of finding the infirmary. So one of the head nurses realizes that Maomao can't make medicine. So she kind of asks her for help because yeah, I thought like she'd get in trouble for making medicine. But no, like she needs to make it for someone that's like been severely sick. So it's one of Lifa's servants, the blue-haired girl. So yeah, Maomao kind of works on trying to help her, but the problem is she is missing. They try asking and looking for her, but yeah, apparently like she's been quarantined, nobody knows. So then she realizes that like there's some suspicious circumstances happening. So she kind of like comes in with the doctor, wears her disguise where she's all beautiful, and then goes into like Lifa's palace area. And then the problem is she sees like in the garden, there's like a suspicious building that's like isolated in the corner, and then it kind of has like this like smell coming out of it. So she goes in, she realizes that the girl is quarantined in here. But then there's something more sinister happening. So the main consort that's showing her around, her name is Shin, and she's actually Lifa's cousin. And then we see that she was like hiding this like quarantined storage area to put like the abortion poison in it. So it looks like Lifa is also pregnant. So this is like her second child. The first one died. It looks like she's like full of energy back again. So yeah, if her second child died, that would be pretty devastating. It looks like Shin is trying to overtake her spot as like the Emperor's concubine. So yeah, like she was trying to poison Lifa. But yeah, basically Shin is evil. I think the death penalty will be the punishment for trying to like, commit murder. But then Lifa kind of sees this, slaps her in the face because she's like, oh, you don't truly love the Emperor. You just like love the status of being the Empress. So yeah, Lifa kind of cleverly fires her cousin Shin, so she doesn't get executed, she gets exiled. And yeah, she's kicked out of the rear palace. It looks like Lifa's other ladies in waiting kind of hate her as well. They're on Shin's side, so maybe she has to fire them, clean house. But good for her, Maomao solving another case, saving these people. The Emperor kind of takes a notice in Maomao because yeah, this is the second time she like pretty much saved Lifa's life. So I mean, if the Emperor notices you, it might not be a good thing. So she has to be careful, but maybe she might get rewarded for her efforts, who knows. But a cool kind of job for Maomao, right place, right time, solving all these mysteries. Without her, this rear palace would probably be like full of corruption and a mess, so she's kind of saving people. We see Shin kind of like slap and scratch her face, so she has like these cat whiskers that are like bleeding. But besides that, yeah, decent episode. We pretty much solved the abortion case. That was like a long-running plot thread in season 2, but also we don't really know who was like truly behind it, because yeah, how does Shin know how to make this poison? Maybe there's someone else that she's working for that knows more details. For solo leveling season 2, episode 7. So yeah, decent episode, a lot of comedic moments and some good action at the end of the episode. So basically, it's the day of Jinwoo's hunter evaluation. We see that there's this famous celebrity called Minsung here, who's also like going for his hunter evaluation. He knows that he's an A-rank hunter from behind the scenes, so he's like doing this press conference to get good publicity, because apparently he was in some like other scandals in the past with women. So this would make people forget about it, see him in a positive light. So he's trying to like get all the media attention onto him, but Jinwoo kind of just like walks in behind him to the Hunters Guild, and yeah, he doesn't know Jinwoo has all these S-rank hunters trying to scout him, ready because it's his S-rank evaluation. So he pretty much like summons all his shadows. He's like, yeah, this is my ability. It's not that he had a second awakening, it's that he's like getting stronger even after the awakening. So yeah, that's kind of like unheard of, a dude that can actually level and get stronger. And then, he's like stronger than everybody. He can summon a lot of shit. He has good like physical attributes as well. So he's not really a mage, he's also like an assassin. So yeah, Jin was really strong. Everyone takes notice. His little sister is surprised, but life goes on. We see him trying to complete the fire dungeon in the hell area. So he's at level 75, and then he has to go to level 100, and then he'll finally get the ingredients for the elixir of life to save his mom. So it looks like the coma that his mom's in, the father of the other dude that was helping Jinwoo, he also has this. So apparently if you have like low magic resistance and you're close to hunters, you just suffer from this disease. That's kind of like out of nowhere. I feel bad because like, damn, Jinwoo has to help him maybe. We see that guy also like kind of left his family to like help Jinwoo because he was unable to recruit him anyway. So yeah, that's interesting. Stuff is happening. We see Jinwoo kind of upgrading his gear as well, getting some like fire resistant clothing. So yeah, Jinwoo finally goes into the fire demon castle, fights some things. We see there's like some Dark Souls enemies that are kind of strong. But besides that, yeah, nothing too much to write home about in these action scenes. Just like, more fighting. And I guess Jinwoo will kind of keep climbing up the tower and maybe beat the Demon King. We gotta see. But yeah, that's it for solo leveling this week. Okay, so for Sakamoto Days episode 6. Not my favorite episode, maybe one of my least favorites, because we meet this annoying ass character. I knew he was coming. Throughout the manga, he is super annoying, and we see him here. His name is Mashimo, and the reason he's annoying is that he's just like super dumb. Like everyone in the show is like pretty goofy, but goddamn, he kind of like doesn't fit in, is super annoying. Basically, he's like a super poor dude because his only skill is that he's good at sniping. He's never really good at anything else, so he got kicked by like his assassin organization. And he's just like living freelance, kind of poor. He's hanging out with his bird Pisuke. So he sees the bounty on Sakamoto, decides to hunt him down. But then when he walks into the convenience store, he asks, yo, where's Sakamoto? They're like, he's not here. So he thinks like the fat Sakamoto doesn't match like the picture, and then he just like takes everything they say at face value. So basically, yeah, we get rid of him, but then there's like a sniping competition in the community. Sakamoto needs the money to kind of like repair the convenience store, get some bulletproof glass maybe. But then we see Mashimo trying to join as well, but he can't join solo. It's a paintball competition, so he cries and then joins up with Sakamoto and Shin's group. So they start kind of shooting everyone with paintball guns. It's pretty easy because these are like the strongest assassin so far we've seen. But yeah, the problem is Lou, she's a bit drunk and she calls out Sakamoto by name. She's like, oh, Sakamoto, that's him. He gained some weight. That's why he's so fat. So then everyone just pauses. They're like, damn, you know, a nice, good joke. And then they start aiming their guns at each other. We see Mashimo, he's like aiming to kill Sakamoto right now in this like community. So I'm like, bro, we're in public. Can we do this somewhere else where there's no people? But nah, he like pulls out his sniper rifle. We see his bird kind of like airdrops it to him, which is funny. So he's kind of like sniping them from the roofs of buildings. They're running away, but we see that he has like ricochet bullets. So it was like pretty goofy seeing them like just like run around the street. We see Mashimo and Peasuke are kind of crying because they're sad to have to kill their friends. But yeah, at the end of the day, we see like they were able to distract him because they have like their earpiece on. We get his backstory on like how no one really accepted him because he was never really good at anything. And after that, Shin kind of takes the opportunity to distract him, and then he can hear his thoughts from far away. Sakamoto gets his location, throws a pebble at his gun, smashes his sniper rifle, and then he's defeated. So yeah, I mean, we beat him, but he joins the cast, I guess. So yeah, pretty annoying character, but yeah, Sakamoto kind of compliments him because even though he thinks like he's worthless, he has no skill, Sakamoto's like, bro, that was the best sniping I've ever seen. So yeah, good compliment. And we end the episode there. You know, decent comedy. The story's like pretty standard so far. Like we just get introduced to the main cast each episode. Kind of like a villain of the week type thing. But yeah, hopefully the story kind of picks up. More things might happen. Like we might see actual hardcore assassins from the JAA show up. Also, yeah, there's like the villain Slur that we've been hearing about. So maybe there's some like real escalations happening next week. Okay, so for Blue Box episode 19, the school festival is starting. So yeah, we've been kind of setting up for the past few weeks. They're doing the Snow White play, and then Taiki just gets closer to Chianatsu and Hana at the same time. We see him kind of beating Yuso last episode, which was pretty big because he was kind of like a big rival from like the opposing school, and then he was really good. So it shows that Taiki's efforts, like him training every day and being so serious, so like paid off. But then here we do like cute culture festival things, and then we see her in the maid cafe, which is pretty cute, and then they go to a concert together. But that was sick, like kind of like a cute episode. I think Chinatsu said something like because they couldn't hear each other during the concert because it was so loud. She looked kind of like embarrassed, didn't want to repeat it, but it was like a very cute kind of like simple date with them during the school festival. So yeah, their relationship development is going strong, but also you guessed it, the prince playing Snow White, she twisted her ankle, so we need a replacement. No one else is available, everyone is out. Taiki is here. So they have him be the replacement prince. This still makes things kind of spicy. So yeah, I mean, it's your typical developments. But yeah, Taiki playing the prince and then Hina playing Snow White. There'll be a moment for them to get like really close. So yeah, we'll see what's gonna happen. Okay, so for Momentary Lily episode 7, I really like this episode. I've like briefly talked about this anime. It's like kind of crazy, just like girls doing stuff in this like abandoned world every week, and then, you know, cooking and stuff. Very quirky characters, but there's like a lot of emotional moments between the heavy anime tropes. So here basically they fight some wild hunt, and then they find like survivors that they were like chasing throughout the anime. So the leader of the other group, her name is Shitoran, and then yeah, there's like a lot of like survivors. They're like living in a school trying to like migrate, like, you know, run away from the wild hunt, but they keep like increasing in numbers. So Shitoran, she's kind of like a cute blue-haired girl, and then we see all the survivors, they're actually family members of the main characters. So yeah, everyone has like someone to be reunited with except Renge. I feel bad because yeah, she has no memory. This whole anime kind of like focuses on her because yeah, she's pretty strong. She seems to remember Yuri from like a different time. She also sees that she got like cut by the wild hunt earlier in the fight, but her injury gets instantly healed. So she feels that she's like kind of like strange. She's not a human because yeah, like she has no memory. So I mean, all things point to her being like a wild hunt, maybe like a mutated form. I'm not sure, but I feel really bad because we can see like her struggle a lot. Like everyone's reunited with their family. She's by herself just like crying. I feel for her, so it's kind of sad. We see Shitoran kind of like, you know, helping her, talking to her. And then we realize that like there's this other girl that's like also like kind of in contact with Shitoran. And then they have the same last name as Renge, and it looks a bit like her. So this could be Renge's sister. It looks like Renge kind of like goes out by herself like the next morning to kind of go after her because it looks like she's in a dangerous area with like Goliaths. There might be some problems that'll arise. Some of them I'm thinking is that this girl might be an imposter, like she might be making a fake AI generated video. I don't think that's the case, but it might be. Also, yo, Renge might get injured, or a lot of people might get injured trying to rescue her because she's going by herself. But all the girls like chase after her at the end. So yeah, a lot of things can happen. You know, interesting kind of like emotional developments. So yeah, you know, even though the anime is super wacky, it's like super unserious, and then like all these kind of like tropey girls out here, There's still like some emotional moments that hit hard. So yeah, we'll see where things go. Hopefully nothing too sad. We also have Dr. Stone Science Future episode 6. We see Stanley, he's focusing on sniping Senku, or actually Dr. Taiju, because he thinks that's their only scientist. So in order to do that, he kind of like camps out in the trees very far back. We see that he recruits this girl Luna to help him. So yeah, new girl, she has like this Where's Waldo dress. There's a bit of fan service shots with her, but yeah, basically Stanley kind of like has her be like a spy. The plan is very obvious, but you know, Senku and the team, they just take her in anyway because Senku realizes they can use her for intel. So yeah, it's kind of like a funny alliance. Like we see Luna's trying to look all over for Dr. Taiju, but then she actually finds him just like yelling really loudly. So yeah, he's the muscular doctor. It kind of like shatters her expectations on what like a scientist should be. But then she doesn't realize that Senku's right in front of her, and then he's kind of raising her up unintentionally. So yeah, they kind of like show her around the ship. It's like very unserious because I'm like, why is she going around the ship? Shouldn't you put her in like the infirmary? But basically everyone's kind of looking at her, escorting her. They're trying to like get information from her, but she doesn't like tell them anything. So they're like, okay, let's give her ice cream. They kind of make vanilla essence, which was kind of cool. Like they synthetically make it with like iron and electricity. I didn't know you could do that, but that was sick. They have like the ice with the salt method. So yeah, they have milk, sugar, gelatin, vanilla essence, freeze it up. You know, it's kind of like a fun episode. It looks like Luna's just like a very fun person to follow. She's like a good person, but she has like this facade of being like a superior girl. So yeah, everyone kind of looks up to her, but she's actually just like an innocent girl, so she doesn't really want to do anything wrong. And at the end of this episode, we get like a reveal where Dr. Zeno, his catchphrase was that science is elegant. And then Senku realizes, wait, did he work for NASA? Because I actually looked up to this guy. So it looks like Dr. Zeno is Senku's like inspiration, his mentor to get started with science. But it kind of like cool emotional stakes happening. Senku kind of like seeing his idol fight back against him, making weapons with the science. So he's kind of using it for evil. So yeah, we'll see what's going to happen. But yeah, Luna kind of like joins the team as a spy. I don't know what she's going to do, but yeah, Stanley's still in the back sniping. We'll see what's going to happen, but yeah, hopefully nobody dies anytime soon. There are some chill shows this week with good stories I didn't talk about as well, like Guild Receptionist. So yeah, we're at episode 6. Have like a cool episode, story progressing as Alina's kind of making more friends, defeating more villains, and preparing for the festival next week. Tasokare Hotel is like very nice. So yeah, like these mysteries are very cool. Just like every week we like meet a new person, get some reveals on their character, and Aneko kind of like being like a good detective solving their cases. And you know, there's like a lot of cool plot twists and emotional moments happening each week. And also Medalist, super cute show. It looks like they're speedrunning Inori's development, making her go to more exams so she can get more certifications. So I think she passed the level 1 test over here. And now we see Tsukasa, the coach. He kind of has like some insecurities because he's never really been a coach before. So he wants Inori to succeed, but he doesn't think like he's doing it correctly. But then we meet another coach that kind of like gives him confidence. So yeah, don't be so insecure, start believing in yourself. So yeah, like Inori and Tsukasa, they're both like very similar people, and just like cute developments happening between them as they're just like growing as people. And we also have Flower and Asura. So we see that there's some interesting character reveals. So yeah, the main one is that the dude with the glasses who's part of like the broadcasting club, apparently his parents give a lot of pressure to him because they want him to be a doctor. If he does anything else, any other extracurricular activity or something that distracts him, he'll be a failure. He has an older brother and sister. They both got like kind of excommunicated, but it looks like the sister is a super successful actress. So yeah, there's like a lot of pressure on this dude, and I guess he's like using the broadcasting club as an outlet to like express himself. So yeah, there's gonna be some drama there for him. I feel bad, but you know, good story moments. I know we also see Hana kind of like reading to the community while the broadcasting club kind of like goes to the island to like kind of look at her. So they're all kind of impressed by her like kind of community work. Her reciting to these little kids was just like really cute and wholesome. Like good hangout moments from everybody. We see them all getting closer. And yeah, the story kind of just like continues there. So yeah, thank you for watching. That's it for the shows this week. ReZero was such a great episode. And yeah, all these other shows continue. We're like at the halfway point through the season. So it kind of flew by a bit, but hopefully the winter season continues to stay strong. So yeah, it's going to be fun and exciting. And I'll see you next week. Peace.